Hello, I'm Greg Jarrett for FoxNews.com. A new report from Human Rights Watch calls for action against Afghanistan's strongmen, in particular 8 officials and commanders who the group says are responsible for countless atrocities in the region. Phelim Kine joins us now, Deputy Director in Human Rights Watch's Asia Division. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
What kind of atrocities are we talking about?
Greg, we're talking about extrajudicial killings, we're talking about torture, sexual violence against women and girls, that these individuals, these 8 individuals who are emblematic of a really pervasive corruption and impunity across Afghanistan, have been perpetrating against Afghanistan citizens for years.
And non-judicial executions, for example, as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So no rule of law whatsoever. And the fact is that the U.S. government, that Afghanistan's major foreign supporters have been bankrolling these guys through their support for the Afghanistan security forces. You know, the American government has spent something like $62 billion since 2002 on the security forces. Some of that money has been going to these guys' pockets.
Yeah, not only bankrolling them, we helped install some of them. We sort of, and maybe at the time for some good, legitimate, justifiable reasons, but it's like creating the monster.
Exactly. And, you know, a lot of these guys, almost all of them, have close links with the U.S. military or U.S. Special Forces or U.S. intelligence because they gained a reputation for being good at killing Taliban. Unfortunately, they kill everybody else, too, with absolutely no regard for rights or life.
All right. Hamid Karzai was not effective in doing something about them. What about the new president?
We have a lot of hope for the new president. You know, President Ashraf Ghani has said a lot of the good things about addressing accountability. And the fact is that just a few days ago, President Ghani announced this new national action plan against torture in Afghanistan. If he's serious about that, that's going to help to rein in these individuals who now enjoy carte blanche Afghan government and foreign government support.
What can the United States do about these 8 monsters that we help create?
Well, you know, the first thing it can do is it can implement the Leahy Law. You know, the Leahy Law forbids any type of U.S. government assistance to abusive foreign military powers. So that will essentially cut the funding lines for these guys and people like them. The other thing is that they need to benchmark the funds that the U.S. government gives to Afghan security forces to improvements in the judicial system and to showing that it's bringing these guys in, prosecuting them, bringing them to justice.
Do you think the United States government, in earnest, really knows what's going on there?
You know, the U.S. government knows better than any other foreign government for sure. And obviously the fact is that the Afghan government is very free in its intelligence sharing with the government. And the information that we have is stuff that we got from Afghan government sources, from United Nations sources, you know, and from the victims and witnesses as well.
Yeah.
Nothing that we got is, you know, the U.S. government can have the same stuff.
Do you think the United States is so preoccupied in continuing to go after the Taliban and al-Qaeda that this has been put on the back burner?
Look, we recognize amongst the U.S. government there's Afghanistan fatigue here. But the fact is the U.S. government has allocated so much, you know, blood and treasure to this Afghanistan project of trying to bring peace and stability to this government, to this country. And these individuals and individuals like them are undermining it.
Why is this story, do you think, overall, broad picture, why is it important?
It's important because if we don't want to repeat the mistakes of a near-failed state in Afghanistan, there needs to be meaningful rule of law. The people need to have some sort of redress. It means that people who commit crimes against others need to be brought to justice. If you don't, you create this vacuum in which forces like the Taliban can get sympathy from the public because they see them as an alternative to these government-backed abusive forces.
So much of Afghanistan is divided up into tribal areas that are governed by tribal law. Does that compound the difficulty in your job in bringing this to the attention of the United States and the Afghan government and doing something about it?
You know, the fact is that the people who are the victims of this abuse, they recognize that they need a strong government presence to bring these men in, to rein them in. So there isn't a question of tribal law, you know, overriding Afghan national law. They want rule of law. They want meaningful presence by their government to ensure that these types of abuses don't occur with impunity the way they are now.
Phelim Kine, Human Rights Watch, thank you very much and for sharing this important report.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
All right. You can read that report on Human Rights Watch's website. Check it out at hrw.org. Thanks for watching. For FoxNews.com, I'm Greg Jarrett.